abusua ene mene o yenyina ye kojoine Adom oche na ye break it down na ye assess the true impact of this D-Levy na NDC for Ediaba no. Na over media no so there has been a mixed reaction. Minimum so what tre efa D-Levy ho. Some people are of the view say oh like yes significant just one city pe and as I say in full no aba form to 12 cedis 50 pesos into utia 1 cedi aka ho, making it 13 cedis 50 pesos no, as compared to previous administration. That is last year muho baby MPP time na full no cost roko drew 17 cedis no. Kusia for muchima ka ebi muchima game feel the impact. And abi mo so is of the view say no masa adeno ye kanisa no. So the full on it me rise ya ekuku C17 no world market sana edwuma ewumwa enema kosro wa follow trading wo yes anema no nim say toda enema kosro de toda so enema ba form nti no say MPP time no akwa kudru 17 say anka 17 ho ene aba form, but ochena bi you don't know what will happen. Maybe global factors be ni nema betima ba be bubuma, it will take the price up, and that is when Ghana for ebehu, because this levy now mo dia bana from now we see 2028 te ebeto abase power base sound say answer it will still continue ade ababeda ho, because you Ghana mo de ade ba yes ye di tua kaka no de ebituma tua ye tua ne ebrugum nti wo so comment section ase na kire wadwe ma me so me hu switch side also because they are going to kwaka sie pa o media no so between supporters of NDC and supporters of MPP and some neutrals or more ye ha no omo kire omadwena ne Adom oche ajibe abriki enema down. They are comparing, they say comparative na equation between the E-Levy and the Doomso, that is the D-Levy. E and D, and as I say, yeah, compare, because we are looking at how much money the E-Levy no kufado at the buyer no it me generate, and how much this Doomso levy no should be to me generate. And I heard E-Levy that's why some section of people be or omutimi avoid this levy no, because electronic tax into usika gubotum okotwa de na we cash atua and affect all. But with this Doomso levy na say dia petrol no directly and indirectly so worker unika it affect you, because see driver union square where you krum ha they are threatening a nationwide strike, and they are threatening to increase fare. Now we are net to take first 15%. They we are better no most and better so home better 2 months. And we cry na itu anye ye bit mekwa ka bro the first price and cry na wo hotter than so, and also cause a whole lot of problems, because say for ne kaiska emu kosra the price of goods and services so a kosra directly and indirectly no affect Ghana for nyina na ne papa ajibre achirechiri break in some down, because the misinformation on the internet is too much. The share brena inkutie inchirechiri money breakdown ni bi, because what take more to that and some for can no more explanation what the man to that I don't know where they are getting their information from. Do to say nyina enko jinchiri mono na nyanti ase won niema ya na ekoso ewo kan ha Tvghana so said they no buy channel no so bomode so be subscribe on what follow you and watch your comment section as
buy petrol. We have a minister for energy. He should not buy petrol. It's the purposes of the office. The office is the office, an inanimate office. Okay, it's a nominal figure. The office is a nominal figure. It's not a person. So people occupy it. So we understand that. But if when you are occupying that office, and for the reason of occupying the office, the Pegasus suggests that you should not buy petrol, don't come and suggest to us that 1 cedi is okay. It's terrible. It is the breakdown of governance. It's very bad government communication. You don't participate in it. You don't know it. You don't understand it. And then you come and tell us that we should not buy petrol. The other day, a few months ago, Stambegwe was quarreling with me on social media about something at the airport. And I was telling him that, no, what he's saying is not correct and blah, blah. He said, oh, Paul, you shut up over there. When you travel, you don't come through the place, so you don't see it. He was right. Because if I travel and I don't come through the normal place, I will not see what he's talking about. I have to go there. But unfortunately, or fortunately, what we used to do is that every Friday we all go there because Friday is the busiest. Every Friday I'm there. I'm in a mask so people might not see. I'm not just there alone. I'm there with other members. We are roaming around. That's what we used to do. It is important to do that so that we can understand what is happening. So, Mr. Mahama Yariga and Kesela Atufo, you don't buy petrol. So don't suggest to us that 1 cedi is nothing. It doesn't mean that because they don't buy petrol, they cannot be sensitive. They can be sensitive even if they are not buying. But I'm saying that in the communication, maybe they should let other people do it. Anyway, so that was Mahama Yariga. Let's see how the minority treated the matter on Tuesday night. This is the minority coming in. All right, so that was Alexander Fenyo-Markin and the minority. They completely walked out of this situation. You can see the Chamber of Parliament captured by cameras, Joy News cameras, as you can see over there. Joy News cameras captured it on Tuesday night. That's the side of the minority to the left of your screen. Who's the last person going? Is that Adom? I think it is him. He carries so many books. What was he doing? Is he reading? So the minority wanted to register their protest, and then they walked out before the passage of the bill, which has now been passed and duly assented to by President John Dramani Mahama. So now, what is the impact of this new tax that has been passed 6 months into the administration of the National Democratic Congress? So let's start with the tricycle, viewers. Let's start with the tricycle. Can you see the tricycle over there? Okay, thank you very much. So the tricycle is an Apsonic tricycle. It has 28-liter capacity. We know what these tricycles do. Zoom Lion credits that. In fact, I have a documentary on Zoom Lion coming next week. He's done some big African countries and signed major contracts. I have a documentary coming up on it on Tuesday. Watch out for that one. It's an amazing work of a Ghanaian company. So these Aboboya vehicles, which was introduced into the system by Zoom Lion, are doing so much today. They are doing so much everywhere. Now, it has 28 liters of petrol capacity. So the petrol price currently is 12.59 at GOIL, the state oil company. So since the bill was passed, this is what is going to happen. The current cost to fill his tanks at 12.9 times 28 is 352 cedis 0.52. So 352.52 is what he will need to fill his tank right now. I mean, before the bill was passed. Now, with 1 cedi extra per liter, which is making the liter now 13.59 cedis, with 28 liters, he is now going to pay 380 cedis. He is going to pay an extra 28 cedis to fill the Aboboya truck. 28 cedis more. That's how he's going to pay to fill it. And whether he likes it or not, he will fill it at some point. He can buy 1 gallon, but you have to have a lot of petrol in it. So if he's buying it at a goal, as they sometimes do, so they can use it the whole day, he's going to pay an extra 28 cedis. That's the real meaning of it. Let's move on from this truck onto another kind of vehicle. So Honda Civic is what you find a lot of the young people who start working, those who are not from great homes like some of us. Your father doesn't have a car, your mother doesn't have a car, so you have to buy your own car. They take a loan from the bank and etc. and they buy these cars. They serve them very, very well. I've used some of these cars before. I used to have a Hyundai Excel back in the day. I don't know whether some of you know what that is. So Honda Civic at 47 liters capacity, this is the situation. Before the bill, with the GOIL petrol price at 12.59 at 1 liter, he was going to spend, that's 12.59 times 47 liters, which fills the tank. He was going to spend 591.73 to fill the tank of this car. At 1 cedi extra, with now the bill of 1 liter at 13.59, is going to have 13.59 times 47 liters of this car, and that's going to be 638. So now it's going to be 638. Before it was 591, and so he's going to pay an extra 47 cedis to fill his tank if he wants to fill it on Monday so that he can go to work and come. At 12 cedis, if the petrol price goes down, it's lower. If it goes up, it's higher because it is on per liter. It doesn't matter whether the liter is this or is that. So he's going to fill the tank that way, and he's going to pay an extra 47 cedis to fill the tank. Now let's move to another vehicle. Hyundai Elantra. Hyundai Elantra has 50 liters capacity. So at 50 liters capacity, Hyundai Elantra was going to spend 629 to fill the tank before the bill was passed. Now Hyundai Elantra is going to spend 679 to fill the tank, and the extra cost is 50 cedis. So Hyundai Elantra is going to pay 50 cedis more to fill the tank. Let's move on to another one. This is the Mercedes Trotro, if you like, the Sprinter. Now, he uses 93 liters for full capacity. So before, he was spending 1,170 to fill his tank. Now, he'll be spending 1,263. The difference is 93 cedis, almost 100 cedis. That's punitive, isn't it? If it's a commercial driver, he's paying 93 cedis more to fill his tank than he was paying before with the introduction of the D-Levy. That's quite punitive, isn't it? Okay. Now, let's look at a smaller one, the Toyota Vitz, which many people use for taxi and for Uber. Toyota Vitz, yes. Taxi and Uber, a lot of them use it. For Toyota Vitz, they have 30-liter full capacity. So before, they were going to fill their tank with 377. Now they fill their tank with 407. So the extra cost of filling the tank for the Toyota Vitz is now at 30 cedis. 30 cedis. That's what it is. And then we have the big VIP. So this one is going to Kumasi from Accra. It's going to Accra to Sunyani, Accra to Tamale, Accra to wherever. That's how the VIPs are doing very, very well. Now, the VIPs have a 480-liter capacity to fill the tank. And because they travel long distances, their tank is usually full. By the time they are leaving Accra, by the time they are setting up, the tank is full because they are going on a long journey. So they really don't know what will happen. So they usually fill their tank. This is the analysis for them. Currently, they are filling their tank at 6,043 cedis. If the liter of fuel is 12 cedis at Goil. Now, with the changes that have come, they are now going to fill their tank with 6,523 cedis. The extra amount that they are needing to fill the tank is 480 cedis. That's something. And these are the people who are carrying passengers from here to here. Some of these passengers are carrying goods. Some are carrying food items. So now you are bringing yam and apim from Tepa, and you are bringing it from Tepa to Insawam. You are going to cost more. You are going to incur more fuel cost. In the circumstance, are they going to increase the price of the yam, or are they going to increase the price of the apim? I don't know, but I think so. So this is the real analysis of what is going to begin to bite in the next few days, as the law has now been passed and signed by President Mahama, and therefore is there. Okay, now let's look at the comparative analysis of what we have here. So we have E-Levy on top here. So we're going to look at E-Levy. For every 500 cedis you pay, there's 5 cedis in taxes. But D-Levy, for every 500 cedis you spend, you're going to spend 40 cedis in taxes. This is the difference. This is the difference. When there was E-Levy, which has now been abolished, if you do transactions on your mobile phone and you send 500 cedis, if Apreku sends me 500 cedis, he is going to pay 5 cedis in taxes because it was 1% of whatever you send. That's the bill that Parliament passed. This is the E-Levy that was abolished by the government. It was a campaign issue. I didn't like it. You didn't like it. Nobody liked it. Ken Ofori-Atta told us so many times. I said, good thing, but we said, no, we are tired. In fact, when E-Levy was abolished, many neutrals on the phone, on Facebook, were saying, thank you for abolishing it, Aban Papa, buy, and all of that was said. Now, the same Aban Papa who said that we don't need to pay E-Levy now comes to us. Now, E-Levy did not have a multiplier effect. What do I mean by that? What I mean by multiplier effect is that when you were sending E-Levy, you send E-Levy to somebody, you pay money, it does not necessarily translate into the price of goods and services around you. Again, E-Levy was optional, maybe 20% optional. 20% optional because whilst it was very convenient, you could still do without it. You can issue a check for the person. You can go to the person by picking transport if that will incur some cost and give the person the money. You can issue a bank transfer to the person. You can do a few things. I think bank transfers to a charge, but you can issue a check to the person. So E-Levy was just 80% compulsory. With D-Levy, it's almost 100% compulsory because it's transportation. If you live in Medina and you work in Accra, every day, Monday to Friday, you are coming from Medina to Accra. If you're a caterer and your catering company is in Tesano and you are going to serve people at Spintex Road, you have to go. You can't avoid it. There's no way to avoid it. You have to put the food in your stuff and drive it to Spintex Road and serve the engagement and serve the wedding. You can't say you're not going. So with the transportation tax, it is daunting in that it is almost compulsory. And we have a transportation system in Ghana where there are excessive taxes on it already. And they call it the petroleum price buildup. Now, with this tax coming on board, you can't do anything about it. So this has a multiplier effect. If you are spending 500 cedis on petrol and you are paying 40 cedis more, and on 500 cedis on petrol, you were selling your unit price for 7 cedis, and now you have to pay 40 cedis more, you might change your unit price from 7 cedis to 9 cedis. That is the debacle of this levy. It is a debacle because it is a big deal. It's daunting and you cannot dodge it. There's no way you can dodge it. The government has been quite clever. So whereas there was E-Levy, which was raising some money, D-Levy will probably raise more money, but it will come at a cost of affecting the livelihoods of Ghanaians. And maybe, perhaps, it depends on how the government is able to convince the people of Ghana that this is a good thing, let's do it. That's how this works. Let's look at 1,000 cedis. Under E-Levy, for every 1,000 cedis that you sent, you are going to pay 10 cedis. And everybody said it's bad. Then the government comes to introduce it and says that for every 1,000 cedis of petrol you buy, you are paying 80 cedis in a tax. For every 1,000 cedis of E-Levy, you are paying 10 cedis. For every 1,000 cedis of petrol, you are paying 8 cedis. Furata is up, Atoforsen is down. Which one is more punitive? Akufo-Addo is E-Levy, John Mahama is D-Levy. Which one is more punitive? It's a question for all of us to look at and answer. It's a question also for us to engage the NDC with, because this was never on the cards. Somebody puts a post and says that if the NDC is doing this because they say people have stolen, they should rather go and collect the money. Why are they punishing us for people who have stolen something? Why are the general public being punished for another person who has stolen something? Except that something is not adding up and something is not being told. But this is the situation. This is what Akufo-Addo brought, for which reason the MPP was booted out of office. One of the reasons. This is what NDC have brought 6 months into coming to power. Coming to power on the back of criticizing E-Levy, within 6 months of coming to power, they introduced a worse levy. Are they giving politicians a bad name? Are we all going to be consumed one day by some insurrection because of some of these things? What is happening? Because if you come to power on the back of indicating the ills of E-Levy, and then within 6 months, you introduce something that is worse at 12:10 midnight, we will see what social media is saying about it. Do we have I think we got a thought that's about it, isn't it? Yes. So let's get to social media. This is what social media said about the new tax.